So James, I mean, obviously you can help lots of different companies and with all your experience. So how can a finance team and a CFO help a for-profit company after completing a Series A or B round of funding?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot of companies are at different stages of development. So, typically the difference between a Series A and a Series B, you need to have a board of directors. You're more developed, you're scaling already. To get a Series A, you don't have to show all those things yet. So there's a different level of maturity. I think going into a Series A, you're very much looking at having the due diligence down and having all your documents in place, having the product market fit done, and making sure that there is enough runway to get to that Series B. It's making sure that everything is fixed. Your internal controls are there. You may not need an audit yet, or if you do, then you definitely need somebody who has the experience of having set up the company for an audit. Whether that's having a controller on board or a CFO that has experience with that. Typically with nonprofits, the audits start very early on. It's what all donors expect. With for-profit companies, it can be much further down the line, and then you can spend an inordinate amount of time going backwards and spending months and months and months just fixing things, developing documents. So the earlier you start all of that, the better. And so I think starting that going into a Series A is really important to do, because once you start prepping for a Series B and go beyond that towards a Series C, you are a whole different animal, different maturity, and different expectations from investors.
All the stuff you put in at the earlier you put this, I guess the financial governance in, it's going to stand you in great stead going right the way through all the different evolutions of the business as well, though, James, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's not just finance, and the CFO is supposed to be in charge of most of the time, HR and cybersecurity and all of that stuff. When you look at HR, the amount of issues that you see with employee contracts, and is it an employee or a contractor or things like that. When I start working with companies, there's usually a lot of liability out there. And that is an area that auditors will look at and comment on in their management letters. And so, it's not just, is the accounting correct? It's also, risk management of HR, of IT systems. All these things come up in the audit. So it's very much across the board, and very much looking at the whole back office, the whole enablement function.
Thanks, James. Great advice as always. Obviously, they can get in touch at the usual places. Do you want to tell them where?
Yeah, absolutely. My email, james@vanreuselventures.com. The website is also a contact page. Social media, we're very active there. We will read your comments if you need to get a hold of us. Maybe that's the easiest way to ping us. But yeah, please reach out. We're always available.